Hey guys, it's Artemis and welcome back to another episode of Diary of a Play presented by Motorola. In this week's episode, we're going to take a look at our match against Cloud9, and more specifically, we're going to look at what led up to us taking down the 4th Drake and securing Dragon Soul in that win. Let's check it out. Alright guys, here we go into our game against Cloud9, starting off this clip a minute 30 before the 4th Dragon. Despite Cloud9 having like a 1,000 gold lead, I don't think they're necessarily favored to win this fight, even in spite of that. I think like all 5 of our champions have a lot of agency around this mid wave, and typically when we're looking at a dragon setup like this, like first setup matters a lot. So here we are a minute 30 before this dragon. It's the most important objective of the game. Whoever gets this dragon is most likely in a good position to win this. Right now, Cloud9 is here early for this Drake. Notice that they have 5 people around mid lane. They have, Blabbers here clearing vision with Vulcan on left side of mid. At the same time, we have Licorice, who's just been kind of chilling in river, not really doing too much. But Cloud9 definitely have control over the mid wave right now. Let's go to our vision now and kind of see what we see. This word is just giving us so much information when it comes to this dance. Like we saw 3 people on mid wave. We just saw 3 people exit on the right side of mid, right? So this word right here gave us just so much information at the start of this play, and it was really, really pivotal in the upcoming siege. Little engage here from Zazel, starting the fight here on Blabber. Nothing really happens here. Basically what we're doing is we're just continuing set up, but notice what's happening on mid at the same time. Right here, this is like a pretty tense moment of the game. Like both teams understand that like the most important thing right now is mid priority and what happens with this mid wave. If we don't secure this mid wave, we're not gonna be able to break into Cloud9 setup, and if they don't control this mid wave, they're gonna lose their setup. At the same time as stuff's happening on the downside here, Bang is sort of walking up and trying to contest. So this was a really nice play from Niski. Bang is just trying to connect to his teammates as a fight starting down here, but they actually force his heal and his QSS right there. Pretty serious cooldowns to force. This is where the fight really starts. Let's take a look here at Licorice. He's on the flank position. We've seen him and we're sprinting at him right now. And again, when you're getting flanked in League of Legends, you have 2 options. One, you can engage on like the strong side of the flank. So we could engage essentially in a 5v4 on this side, or we could try and run through the flanker and engage in like a 4 versus 1 here. Notice that Bang is actually disconnected because of the way that Niski played this. Again, Bang hasn't been connected this whole time. But here I think we make the correct decision. Instead of going for the 4, we're going for the 1. And when you're getting flanked, you always want to move through the 1. The worst thing that we can do is just kind of hold our ground and just like hold this setup, hold this zone like this, because then simultaneously as the 4 attacks us from here, we're going to get attacked by Licorice from this, and they're going to actually get their flank off. Okay, so whenever you're getting flanked, make sure you go through one side of the flank. So here, let's see how we do. Blabber comes in, immediately interrupted here by Zazel. Really nice play from him. At the same time, the Sec goes in with the ulti onto the Zoe, immediately flashed by Zoe. And now look at the position of Zoe. Boom. Right like this. So now Zoe has gotten through the flank like we said. Now we have a nice front to back shape here with our carries both behind our front line, and Huni threatening from the back here with barrels combination. Beautiful shape from us right now. Absolutely beautiful shape. We've successfully flipped the fight into a nice front line back line situation here, and we've avoided the threat of the flank. So really well done by us. Again, force a flash up from them. So 2 flash exchanges here on like sort of both engagers, and nobody dies. Sort of crucial here is that Cloud9 was unable to keep control of their box. They kind of have to retreat into their jungle. Let's take a look at why exactly that happened. I think just because of the health deficit they have. If you notice, half HP, quarter HP, half HP, half HP, half HP. Let's go to Cloud9's vision for a second. They see us and they just make probably the intelligent call that they're really unable to hold this setup right here. So instead they push mid wave and they're going to look to establish some kind of downside control, which isn't optimal for them, but it's better than nothing. Again, go to Cloud9's vision. They've essentially lost control over the box around this dragon. They no longer see anything that's happening here. Like they have this pink ward, yeah, sure. They have these kind of deep wards here, which are nice for flanking, but Licorice has got his TP, so these are great flank wards, but they don't see anything of what's happening in river. Let's take a look at how this fight starts. So C9 is just going to start hitting this objective. Again, they position it really nicely here on the downside. I think this is probably the best shape that they could have. They feel pressured to start this dragon and just hit this and try and like start, moving the HP of the dragon down. I think for a few reasons. One, again, like we had this threat on mid wave. They're definitely pressured here to make something happen. We see some missing pings coming down from Cloud9 here. Again, like if we just kind of think about what they see here, no Alistar, right? And because they don't see Alistar on the front, they have to assume that he's going to be coming from a flank. They have a vision right here. This should preclude Alistar from coming around from this flank. I see some missing pings here. It's hard to say what Cloud9's comms were. I think that a team as good as Cloud9 must understand that when Alistar's not showing, he's looking for a flank. But even still, like, they let this flank get off, and it's really, the most important thing in this fight. Hex flash in from Zeyzal at the same time that Licorice is slept here over the wall. But again, just look at their shape of this fight. Like, there's really no threat on any of our champions. What can they do here? Like, Lee Sin is sort of fixated on this dragon. He's the one with that kick flash who could maybe be kick flashing our Philios somehow, but he's getting guarded by Volibear. Zoe is playing from 1500 units away. Absolutely no threat on the Zoe. Gangplank is playing from 1000 units away, looking for barrel chains. So I think they're outranged here. I think they're out comped here, and I think they're out positioned with us having the inside track on mid as well. And even if they knew Alistar was coming here, their only option is really to just give up the dragon, because if they try and burn this dragon like they do now, Zeyzal's too fast on his flank. He's too fast. He's here already. They can't get this dragon. They would have to concede the dragon. If they concede Mountain Soul, they understand that they're most likely conceding the game. I think the one mistake that we go on to make in this fight is we get a little split here with Golden Glue flashing over the wall. I think we're kind of assuming that Licorice is already dead, and Golden Glue is chasing kills like this. Bang has been chasing kills like this. This is it's not excellent from us by any means. I think that this would have been much cleaner if we had just tried to kill the set here with Zeyzal, who's 1v1ing this set off to the side, because now we're getting pincered here by the set, and this fight's not done by any means. I think we sort of thought the fight was won already, which it was, but because of how split we got on the back end, we actually lose Zeyzal here, and now we're in a 3v4 situation. So despite the fight going so well for us, I think Cloud9 played it well. I think we misexecuted right here. And now, what did Cloud9 do? They don't see the dragon. They don't know the health of the dragon. Aphelios does this pretty quickly. They see Huni here. Blabber is probably coming around this side, just looking to get some kind of vision so they can play the game. But again, they have no blue trinkets. They have no wars in their sidestone, and they're playing against Gangplank and Zoe, the two premier zone control champions in their roles. They had no hope of getting through this choke, I don't think, against Gangplank and Zoe. Maybe if they were all coming through the left side. Again, this is through Fog of War, so we wouldn't actually see them. Maybe if they all transitioned to the left side, they could have tried to contest Dragon from the left side. Absolutely ridiculous amounts of zone control on the Cloud9 champions. They can't enter the zone at all. Bang is still here on this dragon. Licorice is coming in, but again, there's not much he can do. And here, Cloud9 didn't notice that Zoe actually switched to Smite here. Zoe has Spellbook Smite. It's a really, really nice adaptation here, being able to switch to Smite in this objective standoff where our jungler is currently coming for base and not here. And their jungler is, 1 HP forced out of the fight. So I think Cloud9 is probably screaming, no Smite, no Smite, we can steal this, go for the 50-50, something like this. But, admirable attempt by Licorice, but it's not a 50-50. And now, with a 45-second death timer, not only can we fix our waves, we can do whatever we want. We can get mid priority, we can hold our vision control, we can take resets that we probably desperately need after, let's see, how much gold are we sitting on here? 1800, 1400, 1200. So we're looking at I don't know, a little under 5k here across the board as our team. But this was just a really, really intense fourth dragon setup. I think that it was really cool to see the fight start so early before the dragon. A lot of times, teams are late and kind of just funneling in to these objectives before, or without much forethought. I was super, super pleased with the way we played this fight. Just really, really intelligent play by us, and just excellent. You really can't draw it up any better than this with the double barrel on the Alistar. Instantly, they're flashing away, but we follow the flashes, clean up the fight, and at this point, it should be GG. And with that, that concludes this episode of Diary of a Play presented by Motorola. Make sure you guys like and subscribe, and leave a comment down below what you're interested in seeing for next week's episode. Thanks for watching, and as always, I hope you guys learned something new. See you next time.